But my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises. You ain't stopping this, cross my shit, you'll be knocked unconscious, bitch. That's the consequence, I got this, I will not quit. Man, I'm on it, honest, I'm gonna launch quick, then I'm gone. It's just a matter of time before I'm over the climb and moving under my prime. Just quit my 9 to 5, I'm rocking, and they watching, cause it's shocking. Dropping all these top 10 songs, so stopping. It's time to live my life, it's time to live, not die. Wish I could slow down time and just enjoy the climb.
What is up, people? All right, sorry about that. I was actually paying attention to something else. So this is what's going on. I decided to go live. I have basically nothing to really go on, except for some little couple rants, but nothing big. Just want to make sure my audio is good. I did some audio settings, and want to make sure that's good to go. And I will put the link out there immediately. So I thought about it, and I'm gonna test this out, see how it goes. What you guys are seeing on the left screen is actually it's a speech. It's like a speech to chat. Don't worry, you guys can't hear it, but I can. Kind of reluctant to do it because I haven't got all the settings yet, but I want to know how it's going to be anyway. So basically, anytime you guys do this in the chat, and I know I'm talking and you guys are hearing it, or you're seeing it way before I'm talking about it, but that little apostrophe, if you do that in front of your message and you link me, it will immediately talk to me. It will say, blah, 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 is notifying you. Now, for y'all happy with it, I can turn it off. I don't mind. But I figure, when you guys are trying to want me to say something or trying to get on the panel, it'd probably be a lot easier to deal with. So if you guys can do that and alert me, then hey, we're good to go. So let's see. I won't even know if it will work until I turn it on. So hang on 1 second. See if it's working for me. But yeah. So what I wanted to talk about, and this is serious shit. So we just had the New Zealand shootings, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see a lot about it. I just heard about it from here and there, and then I heard about the video. But what I witnessed today was actually just fucking disgusting. I sat there and I listened to grown men laughing about it because they were under the assumption that it was fake, a hoax, and I don't know about anyone else, but it immediately fucking triggered me, and it made me want to, say something. So luckily I was actually able to get on that panel. I got on the panel and let them know, hey, you do realize that, you don't know, and you don't have the background to make this opinion, to say that, and right off the bat they got insanely defensive, and wanted to explain to me how I was a piece of shit. I believe everything that NASA says, and I had to remind the kid, "Hey, guy, you do realize that NASA has nothing to fucking do with it. You do realize that you have no qualifications to determine to determine whether or not something was real, fake, that guy's fault, this guy's fault." And he basically just, these two guys went on a tyrant of how stupid I was, and it really made me really reminded me that no matter what, when I first got into this, and like I said, I was conspiracy theorist before it. My ideas of how things work, I have to have facts behind them. I know I was a flat earther, and you're gonna be like, "Where's my fact?" Okay, I didn't understand, but there was other things I cared about. I don't really care too much about the shape now, but fucking A, after 2 years, I'm fucking happy as much as I know. I know none of this before I found flat Earth, so that's why I say I don't regret it. But the one thing that I did always regret, or always do regret, and the one thing that I remember from being a flat earther, is that because my views were so different, I never in my life thought every incident was a hoax. Every incident was a false flag. Because if you guys do that, and you realize you guys are doing that, I mean, every time there's an incident, and you go on the live stream, or you find a live stream on that day, every single person in that hangout is saying, "Oh, it's fake, it's a hoax, they lie, they do this, they do that," and it really got me thinking. Do you really understand the whole believing? Do you really understand the whole evidence? I mean, it's gotten to the point now where I've now crested over realizing that, my idea was I was completely wrong, and that I had no idea what I was talking about, and the vague ideas that I did have weren't anything close to disproving the globe. At best, they were the nitpicks that anybody can find because science posted them. Imagine that. People that are trying to argue against the globe Earth looked in these books, in these publications that the scientists put in that website or publication or whatever. Remember, the scientists put that in there. They read it and just have at it. They go at it like, "We found this." No, that would not have even been in that website you looked at, or that YouTube channel you watched, unless the scientists had put that in there for you, the public, everyone to know is going on. So, like I'm saying, at this point, you can ask questions. I don't care because you don't understand. I get that, but you guys got to start coming with something. Getting to the point now where you guys got to realize that I didn't leave Flat Earth because I wasn't getting answers. I left Flat Earth because the globe made more sense when I understood it. Now I'm getting irritated because I'm now realizing that for 2 years, not only was I not getting answers, but I was taught to basically have an argument with somebody, interject one of these faulty, one of these unanswered facts or evidences or whatever. And the problem for me is I want answers now. The problem for Flat Earth is I know when you're doing something. I know when you're avoiding. I know when you're trying to think. I know when you're Googling something. I know because I was there. I did it. And I'm sorry. There's a whole different breed of fucking Globers here now. I was talking to Jose the other day. Me and Jose, and I don't know anyone else that's doing it, but we're the only two that left Flat Earth and are live streaming. We're still here, and we both, if anything, he probably knows your guys' arguments better than me because he's heard the wackiest shit over at Nathan's. So you're gonna hear a lot more. No. No more gish goblin. Let's hear the facts. So, let's see. So let's see who's in the chat. Cynics, I know you're always there, man, and it irritates me. What's up, Sasha? What's up, Florence? How you doing? What up, Chris? What's up, Conspiracy Cats? Yeah, I saw that shout out for him, man. That was awesome. Yeah, I was talking to him earlier, and I told him, I was like, dude, keep up the good work, because he does a lot of like photography and stuff like that. I don't have a good camera. I don't do any of that stuff. So he's on the other end of it, but it's like we know exactly what we're hearing when we're hearing it. As in, we know there's no evidence. We know where we went wrong in assuming it was flat. And we're not going to let that go. I know me, and I know he does. We want answers. We want to know why this quote-unquote lie of a globe works. Why does it work? Why does it work every time you look left, right, back? It doesn't matter where you look. An observation that you get always works. And that's, you can block it out all you want. But the reality of it is it's not going anywhere. And at the same time, when you're trying to tell us to prove something, we're going to keep proving it by showing you all the observations, which came to the evidence, which came to our system, which made our model. You can go do those observations too. You don't have to sit here and say we're lying, make up faulty experiments, and assume, yes, Chris, assume it's flat. You believe it's flat. You don't know it's flat. None of you do. That's why, I made a little thing I'll show you guys in a little bit, but I'm no longer, like, there are no flat earthers. Remember this. No. None. Zero. One evidence, I'll consider it. Show me one piece of evidence that we all can see that it is a flat earth. And I'll start calling you flat earthers again. But from now on, you guys are all globe deniers. So here we go. I'll put the chat in the link. I can see Chris getting feisty down there. Guys, keep it respectful. That's all I ask. I'm probably going to be turning the link on and off, because mainly I don't want to. If you're going to be here and it does get packed, understand that I'm going to be muting people, not to be an asshole, but so that the 2 or 3 people that are having that conversation can continue to have it. And even more importantly, I will not allow anymore, because I did notice it last one. If there's only one flat earther on this panel, only 2 people are going to be able to talk. It's just the way it's going to be, because what happens is everybody attacks. Granted, there are a select few. For instance, Sasha, Terry, you guys can talk on my panel anytime you want, because you guys are here every time, and I appreciate that. Okay, so here's the link. Hello, P Mars. How you doing? This is what I'm gonna do, P Mars. In a second, I will go ahead and unban your primary account, only so I don't have to look at your stupid sock accounts. And we'll see how this time goes. How about that? But like I was saying, it's time. I don't want to hear we don't have the money, we don't have the means to prove it. Okay, well, if you don't have the means to prove it, that means you don't even have the observations for the claims you make. Talk to a guy that talks about the wall, talks about the infinite plane, but the problem is he's never even seen the wall, let alone know. How would you even know it's an infinite plane if you haven't even seen the wall? I said to him, hey, here you go. He said, there has to be a wall, because it's what contains the oceans. Ready for this? Flat Earth. Think about this. You ready? Name one ocean that doesn't have a beach. There you go. Name one ocean that does not have a beach. Because you do that, and guess what happens? Yep. Every ocean has a beach, means it's contained. Yeah, I'm doing that right now, Sasha. And like I said, please, if you're gonna come on, I put it this way, I would rather not talk about flat Earth with flat earthers if flat earthers are gonna come on and not post up any evidence. It's like that's what it's at now. I don't care. You're not gonna prove it right now. I understand, but there's one thing I do expect now. I do expect you guys to have some kind of observational evidence, something that actually works. Right? That's all. That's not asking too much. Brenda, that's not asking too much, right? Just one. And it's that point now. I mean, we get it. We have phenomenons. And again, like I said, I'm not sure if you heard it, Brenda, but I don't know why I never heard anyone say it. The same things that they're telling us doesn't work for the globe. These phenomenons, these things that are kind of unexplainable. They forget that our scientists put those in the journals that they read to say that to us. The whole lie goes full circle. Are they lying when they put that bad stuff in there too, guys? No. It's answers from now on. What's up? Exactly. Well, and that's what I don't know why we don't use that. How's any of the information they're using credible if they're telling us everything they say is a lie? Because everything they know, as in quote unquote debunks the globe BS, is from them. It's like I said, this is it's I'm kind of frustrated to the point, and I kind of understand, Brenda, how angry you got all the time, because it's like this easy thing to realize is just being blown over on either not understanding it or on purpose. Those are only two options. What's up, Chris? How you doing, sir? Brenda, were you checking something? I saw you said test. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries. Well, it's on that one. It's gonna be what is it? Damn it! Exclamation mark! God damn! I really. the Hang on 1 second. I gotta go check it again because I'm not even sure if it's right. But you got to do it in the YouTube chat. Yeah, that in the YouTube chat though. That's why it doesn't work. I think I can send you one in the hangout though. Don't worry. Yeah, but it's I don't know, it's so frustrating now because, well, Brenda, you've heard him, and Chris, you're turning into one. And it scares me. But Chemo Spurs today was like, he doesn't realize that what he's doing realistically is just amping Debbie up. And like I said, I had. All right, good, because no one said anything yet, Jose. But I do appreciate that. Thank you, sir. All right, now they can hear you guys. But again, you guys haven't really said anything. All he's doing is he's ramping up all the flat earthers he knows are there that will say something. All they got to do is know another flat earther is talking, and no one else is talking, guys. And it's now frustrating. I said I hear rockets don't go to space. Okay. I said,
that's funny.
Yeah. Well, this is a really easy
thing. Where
do
they go then?
Then
where do they go?
She said, there is no footage of rockets going into space. I said, well, okay, I hear you. Can you show me footage of any rocket that, obviously hasn't, malfunctioned, that has landed in the water or in the ocean or on land somewhere? No. Okay.
After it went to space.
No. We'll just go right after it launches. And I go, okay, well, if that's the case, how do you know there's no space? Or how do you know they are landing and not going to space based on the fact that you've never seen one not go to space when it takes off. And, you know, then they switch it. Another argument. That's on purpose. That is not understanding. That's ridiculous to me. I'm sick of people getting. I mean, I can sit there right now. Chemo sits in that room all day long, just to aggravate the shit out of somebody, and it doesn't make sense. We don't all talk at once, guys.
What?
Oh, okay.
My bad. No, yeah. But
so people often ask me on the Discord server, you know, what it would take to convince me one way or the other. And the answer I usually give is, you know, some sort of observation, like from a far enough distance to where you couldn't say refraction is, you know, looming it up to be seen, right? Now, whether you use a laser light or some sort of light source or something you can see. So that's the answer I give.
Well, on that note, wouldn't an observation from space be enough? That's
no, because we can't reproduce that, right? So you have to be an astronaut and not
Why
just
do you have
normal
to be?
people.
You can send a weather balloon up. It is reproducible.
Yeah.
Just send a weather
then you
balloon
get
up.
into optics. So then you get into optical phenomenon.
People have sent.
Not
balloons
really.
up.
Every time somebody sends a weather balloon up, it shows round. Curved. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
That's true. That's true.
It does show a little bit of curve.
I'm laughing at P. Mars' name.
And at the same time, it also kind of what does it do? It's
so it shows curve. It shows curve because of optical effect, and there's other reasons.
Okay, but
You can remove those optical effects, though.
No, you can't remove the optical effect.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Why can't you?
It's just part of how lenses work, how our eyes work, how we perceive things. I mean, this is coming from people, from ballers in the Discord. Like, I didn't think that either, and then M. Scott Veach sent me a video saying that was actually the case.
Well, if they said that, you either misunderstood them or they're wrong. Because I know that you can remove. It's called barreling or lens distortion. You can remove that from any image. If you know the lens used, right? You can. There are programs. There's Photoshop plugins that do it for you.
Okay, so this is my point, right? So that's why when people ask me what kind of observation or tests I want done, I want a distance test. See, all these arguments on you can send a high altitude balloon up and all these things,
but that's the best.
Please don't interrupt me. Please don't interrupt me.
He's right. Sorry.
I just want to say a couple sentences. So people say, "Oh, pictures from space, IIS, all these things, high altitude." Well, to me, none of that will work because of all these. There are optical phenomena. There's atmospheric differences, all sorts of things. So for me, it's real simple.
Hang on, let me go. Hang on. Hang on, Sasha.
You do a distance test over water and far enough away to where the observable object shouldn't be seen. Simple.
Okay. Now here's the thing. You because the last time you were here, you kind of said the same thing, and you're playing it to atmosphere. Now here's the problem. Just alone with that, if there are observations that we can make, and it is consistent every day, and it has a pattern that we can obviously predict. If it was atmosphere under the terms you're talking about it as, it wouldn't be consistent. Because remember, atmosphere changes all the time. It's every day is a different. The atmosphere is a little different, so we would always see something different, but we don't.
What do you mean? What are you looking at?
Again, I'm standing on the beach, and we're looking at that boat take off. Right. Last time you were here, you said the reason that boat disappears is because of atmosphere. Now, the only way that is possible is like, fog or things like that. But it doesn't, when something disappears on a perfectly sunny, clear day, it doesn't fog out. It doesn't disappear like a ghost, kind of would. But
Can I say something about the high altitude weather balloons? It's when you're taking a picture from those balloons, there's not that's probably the farthest distance you're ever going to be able to get on a camera that can be repeatable by somebody on Earth. And it's also, you're not looking through the atmosphere, you're looking over the atmosphere.
They're
So
still, they are still in the atmosphere.
Well, technically the atmosphere, but not like the dense atmosphere. It's not dense super dense at that level.
Here's a better, actually, the best way I've been able to explain it. Okay, there's more, it's closer to space with the atmosphere, it's thinner, so you can see further into space than you can see out. That way, I could kind of understand saying atmosphere, but even then, it's still not always the same. It's not consistent.
But the point is that atmosphere at that level is consistent, and when you look out at that level, you see a curve. But you're not looking through the atmosphere, you're looking through changing atmosphere, you're looking for the same density level of that atmosphere. That makes sense when you're looking out at a weather balloon.
So not to interrupt, but you guys are kind of making my point, right? There's all these arguments and debates that can be had on both sides about what we're looking at, how much atmosphere there is, refraction, all these things. Okay. So why can't we come together on both sides and come up with this I call it a simple test, and a distance test far enough away to where you shouldn't be able to see something, but we still can.
We do have that.
Not, right?
Hang on, Sasha. Problem is there's evidence of that already. You're not willing to accept it, so how are we supposed to come to that?
Well, I could say the same thing.
Well, no. The thing is, those tests have been performed multiple times by both Globers and Flat Earthers, and it always shows curve, but then the Flat Earthers either hide the evidence or deny the evidence.
Okay, well, that's
true.
That's what happens.
Oh, that's true. That's what happens.
But these tests have been performed. These long-distance photography over water, it's all been performed. Multiple
Many times. There's a lot of, you could just Google it, and you can get a lot of YouTube channels doing that.
So there's a group of people right now. I mean, literally, when I say right now, I mean like right now. In fact, you can go to their channel live and watch them doing some
Hori Sheets, one of the more disgusting pieces of shit in the YouTube flat Earth.
I actually no, and Brenda, I actually 100% agree with you. He is literally a piece of shit. Anyone who wants to defend him, email me and I will send you exactly why I know he's a piece of shit. Matter of fact, he said it on a live stream. He said it on a live stream and on Discord that Flat Earth is his prophecy. Flat Earth is everything. Flat Earth is more important to his family. Anybody who would say that is a fucking idiot.
Yeah, right, and he's doing an observation, but it's not controlled in the least. What's his name? George Kozlowski?
Oh, what's up, Jesse? How you doing, sir?
Jesse Kozlowski. He recently did an experiment, exactly what you want to see, Chris.
Mic check. Okay.
Right? He did that. He put he is a professional in geodesic surveying. He put markers out several miles out, spaced them out, and looked at them, and with a professional piece of instrument that keeps itself level, and he showed the curve.
Are you talking about what did he use, a theodolite?
Yeah, he used a theodolite.
Okay, well, theodolites are rated to under 1 mile.
Wait, what?
So if you're
stop right now.
Okay.
Where did you get that fact? Yeah, because you do know what those are. You know what they're for.
What do you mean they're rated to a mile?
They measure angles. So basically, if you're okay, you would never use a theodolite. Okay, theodolites are for building, right? You would never look at something.
No, they're not.
They're not.
You wouldn't build a building with one. No.
What are they for?
Well, I mean, you can use them, I suppose.
But you would use something more. You would use something more precise, a lot more precise.
Construction. Wait a minute, you're saying it's not precise, but now I'm supposed
Not
to
as
bring
precise as not as
content?
precise as a total station, something you would use on a site to have perfect corners on a building. Yes, it is not as precise at all than a total station. Trust me, you're not in your real house right now, buddy.
All right, well, let me just look it up. What is a theodolite? Theodolite is a precision instrument.
Yeah, I didn't say
it's
it
used
wasn't.
for land. It's used for land surveying.
Yes, it's not. You're talking about buildings. That's precision. You don't do that from a far distance like that. You never would do that. That's not how it works.
It says it can measure angles with great accuracy down to a milliradian or seconds of an arc. So they're very accurate.
Okay, and then it says the traditional use has been used for land surveying, but
yes,
they are also
land.
But they are
for
also
building. Oh, okay, fine.
Jesus Christ!
Keep going. Go ahead,
guys. Can I get a sentence out?
Maybe we'll
but
see.
They are also used extensively for building and infrastructure construction.
Okay, that's okay. Okay, first of all, you need to understand something. There are different industries in surveying, and the type of surveyor that would be doing that for a building isn't going to be using that. If he may use that if it's a casino out in the middle of nowhere and they need to make sure they're on the right property lines, and that property lines are freaking huge. Okay, but the whole, especially the mile thing you said, is so insanely wrong. I don't even know where you got that stat.
Yeah, where did you get that from?
Let me look it up for you. Hold on.
Well, no tool that you use is going to be precise enough for a globe denier. So there's always going to be something wrong with it.
Hey, what's up, Larry? How you doing, sir?
I think the approach to take is to get the other side to define the conditions under which they would change their minds and define the experiment that would be done that they say would definitively show one way or another, and then to do it.
Several problems with that. It's been done.
Yeah, well, that's the major part because Chris,
many times.
First off, we wouldn't even be talking about doing experiments together until you were able to explain your atmosphere theory. Because what you're saying is that if it's the atmosphere and the way we know the atmosphere to work, we're always going to see a different visual effect all the time. It's never going to be consistent, and all our observations are still consistent.
Well, that's not true.
Okay,
sometimes,
like what?
Sometimes you can see things.
You showed one picture that one day, right?
Sometimes you see things really far, and sometimes you can't.
Okay, but here's the thing.
That's called fog.
Yes, here's the thing. That's atmosphere, but that doesn't explain what happens when that atmosphere is gone and the same effect happens, like a boat going over the horizon.
So
so a boat going never changes. The view you get a boat going out of sight, if it's clear enough and it gets to that distance where we know the horizon is, it's always going to sink from the bottom and go up. We're always going to see that. We'll never see something different because we know what we're looking at. If it was atmosphere, it would be different every time the atmosphere changed from the last time.
Well, Sean, sometimes we do see. It's relatively about the same, but sometimes we do see it a little farther because of refraction.
Oh, absolutely. No, but what we're observing with explanation is still the same. It's not some weird, it disappeared like a ghost.
Yeah, you can measure that refraction based on the weather and know exactly how much that has to be.
What's up, Red? How you doing, my friend?
Hello there. How are things?
Good. Take some time, take a nap, and relax a little bit from earlier.
That was a blast. What an absolute hoot that was.
Yeah, that's.
I just want to let everyone know in here. I just went to toe to toe with Debbie for how long was that? I just
too long.
It was
I told you, it's
about an hour.
Yeah, and that was the nice version of it.
I just kept it. I just kept it going and kept it going.
You can come back in 5 years and it'll be exactly the same.
No, it was fun. I just thought, I wonder how long I can get it to keep going. So I just kept it going. That was great fun.
Yeah, so,
she's great. I love Debbie.
So here's the thing, guys. Right now, the first thing I'm noticing is that there's only one flat earther here. So let's just make sure it's like maybe only 2 of us talking to him. Chris, if you feel like, you know, there's too many things coming at you, please let me know. Okay?
I have a little. I have a little stat here. 90% of Earth's atmosphere lies within 20 kilometers of the surface. So once you get higher than that, there's very, very little atmosphere.
At 18,000 feet, the atmospheric pressure is 1/2 of what it is on the surface.
Okay.
Bit of trivia there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. So
does it only take another 2,000 feet to get out of the rest of that 40%?
Chris, I had thought about something earlier, and you'd be the perfect one to answer it because you're believing you're trying to explain scientific anomalies or phenomenons that are happening. You know the phenomenons and the quote unquote things that you believe debunk the globe or give it such a hard time, and how most flat earthers will tell you that science is lying. Could you explain to me how you believe those are true? You know, the quote unquote debunking the globe stuff. If the information you're getting is the scientists that are putting it out there for all of us to know, and then, you know, lying about everything else.
I mean, can you be more specific? I don't want to.
Well, he's asking, why would the scientists put out information that you can use to debunk the globe?
Like what? What do you mean? What are they putting out?
Well, okay. So do you believe science lies at all? Because that matters if they even have this.
Well, scientists lie. Yes.
Okay, so do you believe the facts they've told us aren't true?
I believe that's how you would put it. You wouldn't have to necessarily say that they're lying to cover something up. You could just say they're simply regurgitating what they've been taught and told, and they haven't really fact checked a lot of this stuff themselves.
Okay,
you know that.
Then how do you know for sure that the things that you believe debunk the globe or show it's more of a flat Earth? How do you know that stuff's true if you've already decided what's not true on the globe side?
Well, I haven't decided everything. I mean, it's a process, right? So the thing for me is a lot of these claims I try to take, especially when first got into it, because when you get into it, like, you're just bombarded with information, right? You're watching 2 and 3 and 4 hour long videos that talk about a lot of things, but after that, you want to go into individual items. So, like, for example, one of the most famous, of course, and you mentioned it earlier, is boats going over the horizon. And so I looked into that. And then based on the research I did, it turned out to be atmospheric synoptics versus any type of curve.
Atmosphere what?
Yeah, that's not actually a word.
I said atmospheric and optics.
Oh, I thought you said synoptics.
Yeah, so I thought.
Yeah, synoptics. Atmosphere and optics. Okay, so explain this atmosphere and optics.
It's an atmospherical optical phenomenon. It's not going over a curve.
But can you explain that? I don't even know what it is, sir. I don't.
Is Rob Skiba?
Okay.
It's Rob Skiba.
Hey, is that something you can explain to us?
I mean, it's without having to go into great detail. It's a simple. What I'm saying is fairly simple. Instead of believing that, say, a boat goes over a curve and disappears, I believe it goes out into the distance of a flat plane or a flat body of water.
How does that work?
Well, here's the thing. I have this wonderful surprise for everybody. Found a website where basically Yes, you can simulate flat Earth first globe with a boat, and then elevation you can change, the whole nine. So I want to pull that up. Go ahead and keep talking because I'm going to pull it up right now, and I'm going to show you that it doesn't work that way, especially consistently.
So you want to use a 3D program to prove or disprove the real world.
No, wait. And then you show me, okay, so you're telling me that computer simulated models, you can't use them?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
Okay, so you don't use any computers to figure anything out, right?
I don't use them to figure out real world observations, no.
I guarantee you do. I guarantee you do.
Here's the problem I have. The problem I have is there's nothing that is accepted.
Wait, have you ever used Google Maps? Because that's using a computer-aided navigation system to find out where you are.
Yeah, I use Google Maps, sure.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Okay, and I've also seen where Google Maps shows things that shouldn't be there.
Okay, when I pull this up, and I do play it for the both situations, I want you to let me know where in this simulation it is so wrong that it's lying. Okay.
Okay. Can I stop you for a second and
Absolutely.
tell you up front? So one of the main reasons I say that I don't like using 3D programs for modeling of these things is one of the things I've seen that I've not seen is accurate atmospheric condition representation. In other words, I've seen people try and mimic what the atmosphere is or does.
Hang on, but wouldn't it, if this model, this computer simulation that I'm going to use, if I use my atmosphere at no atmosphere but for both, then that's an equal observation of what's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah. I just have some input. He said in the beginning that it would be ideal if we could observe it without atmosphere, because atmosphere distorts things. So how come we can't use a 3D model without atmosphere if the best solution would be to take out the atmosphere?
Yeah, because then you see exactly what it does.
True.
Wait, what? You want to take out the atmosphere?
Okay, so he said if the atmosphere is the reason why we see all these anomalies, then if we took the atmosphere out, we would definitely be able to see exactly what's happening, right?
No, the exact opposite.
Exactly correct.
No, not correct.
Why would it be the opposite? Definitely, why would it be the opposite then?
If the atmosphere is the cause of a phenomenon and you remove the atmosphere, you remove the phenomenon. I can't believe I have to.
Do you understand what a phenomenon is? Do you understand that it's not explainable? But if you that's like saying, I can't see across, there's this cloud, so I can't see the top of the mountain. But if we can figure out how to get rid of clouds, then we can see the top of that mountain. But then you're taking away nature. It's not fair. That's what you're doing right now.
Because you said at the beginning that atmosphere is what distorts it, and the only way and we can't prove anything by looking through atmosphere because that would distort the image. However, if we go into a 3D model and do it without atmosphere, we can compare the results on a flat Earth and a globe Earth without that distortion and see how it would look.
Okay, so let me tell you what I did say, because you're just misspeaking for me, I guess. What I'm saying is, if atmosphere is the cause, let's just use this example, okay? If atmosphere is the cause of a boat appearing to disappear from the bottom up due to refraction and miraging, and then you take that element out, you would no longer have the boat disappear. And so the whole argument is moot. You need the atmosphere.
That doesn't make any sense.
Did you just say... Wait. Did he just say on a flat Earth, if we take out the atmosphere, the boat won't disappear over the horizon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that completely goes against the flat Earth theory.
No,
the flat Earth theory, it states that the water is obstructing the boat, not the atmosphere.
It's too far away to see.
True. No, you mean the globe Earth.
No, no. No. The flat Earth theory states that the water's blocking the boat through perspective, and if we go up higher, even though the distance to the boat is greater, we will still be able to see it because
just zoom in. Just zoom in.
I don't understand.
He's trying to explain. He's trying to explain their theory that if a boat just goes over or disappears, if you get that high power lens, you can bring it back into view. He's trying to explain
that has nothing to do with atmosphere.
Yeah.
I just want to. Can I also point out that the in this conversation, I know this sounds unfair and everything, a little bit gratuitous, but in this conversation, the flat Earth is only outnumbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 1. In the real world, flat Earthers are outnumbered 1,000 to 1. This is actually quite a fair discussion.
Well, also only two of us are talking.
Yeah, I don't think anyone.
And we're
Chris,
not dogpiling.
You don't feel like that, right? You don't feel like no one.
I'm trying hard. I'm trying hard not to dogpile.
No. I just want to make sure. Yeah, I tried. Before you got here earlier, Red, I tried to make sure. I wanted everyone to know if there was only one flat earther, we could not be just. Everyone.
We need another one.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, no, that's all good. All good.
When you talk about in the real world, and when you're out and about, discussions like this are pretty rare. I've actually never in the real world met a flat earther, just like on the street or anything. But anyway, no, you know what? That was I didn't mean to be. You guys carry on. Never mind.
You've had a long day.
I was talking to Debbie for an hour.
Oh, that's nothing, man. Trust me. I know Brenda, me, Larry. We've done hours.
I still think
days.
She's great.
I did until today. She keeps doing
no,
that. No, okay, so check this out. Like I said, I'm so happy that I realized this because I really get to see who who my real friends are, not the people that just hung out. And I'd rather that. I'd rather anyone who has a problem with me say it now, so I know I don't have to talk to you anymore. I don't have to trust you. I don't have to talk. I give a shit less. Not my problem anymore.
Show your model.
No, they can't. First, here's what happens. First, they need to make observations that actually happen that everyone can see. Then they will have some evidence, which will then start to form a system. They're getting there, but they're not going to. But that's what creates the model. You need a system, you need the model. Then you start figuring shit out. You guys are still on step 1, and I'm not talking at you, Chris. I'm talking about flat Earth in general. You guys are still at step 1. Observations. You're still looking for observations to show it's flat. No, none of you know. Not one person. You all believe, and you're globe deniers. I can't say it until I'm blue in the face. Like everyone should be like, I'm a DE, or you know what I mean? I'm a GD. It's how it is, man.
What does that mean?
Globe denier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just got a little higher earlier, so I'm a little dyslexic on the side. It's my bad. No, but
in all practical sense, it is that. But the claim is that the Earth is flat.
But
however,
they can't.
Most of the time, all it is just talking. Jaron did it when he had his debate with Red's Rhetoric. All he did was come with evidence, just trying to prove that that all of the evidence for the globe is inadmissible.
Oh yeah, it's
not that the Earth is flat.
Like I said, I noticed on Jose's live streams when he's on there, and I know I do it. When I hear that flat Earth U-turn start to happen, that's why I throw my hands up. I'm like, no, no, stop right now. Because once you get like today, exactly like today, Red, the second Debbie realized she could make that U-turn and get you all frustrated, it's over. You're done. The second you hear her giggle, you're done. You might as well stop talking to her.
Oh, she's got a cute giggle though.
Give it another week. Give it another week, buddy. You're still fresh there. It all seems odd right now. Wait until it gets annoying.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Anyway, back to the topic.
But I mean, that's the reality of it. I mean,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, at this point, to me, it seems rational. We should never hear "I'm a flat earther" until something of great proportions of this magnificent observation is had and shown, and we can all see it ourselves, because you guys are seeing something that no one else sees. I searched my ass off for it. You know how hard it is to have a debate with someone when your answer is, I don't know, but I'm looking into it. I think it could be. It only lasts so long. And like I said, Red, what you witnessed is a flat earther will nitpick certain things that either will sway the conversation somewhere else, or you have to explain why science can't explain this. Really?
That's what happened with poor Mr. Oakley there. There you get a fact. There you get a fact, and then and poor Bob is in the same boat, because they get a gyro. It measures what you would expect on a globe. It doesn't match their expectation, and so they're basically like, we're not going to accept this. That is portrayed in a documentary, and Nathan just loses it, and so did Vegan Warrior.
Oh, yeah.
Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to us? Remember, if it was a search for truth and facts, they would say, well, look at that. It is spinning. Oh, yeah. Okay. But they didn't do that.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when it's like that. It's now to the point, like I said earlier, it's either you don't understand it, and maybe you don't want to hear it, maybe you're just so convinced, but you just don't understand it, and then you have that other realm of people, and you're now starting to see them, Red. They're the flat earthers that literally have a script of what to say in a situation.
Well, it's okay. So you get the gyro. So the debate afterwards is not, oh, look at that. Have we been wrong all this time? It wasn't that. It was, let's see how we can attack the gyro. And that's all they tried to do, is attacking the gyro itself. The fact that this gyro is in thousands and thousands of planes, making planes fly perfectly safely every single day of the year, is neither here or there. Somehow they've got to attack the gyro. And it became about the gyro. I went, wait a second, then they're definitely not interested in the facts then, because, okay. Anyway.
It's the reality of it is that if you're not really wanting the truth, then make it known. Just tell people, hey, I'm here to fuck around and troll. Trust me, people are gonna respect it a lot more than when they realize you're not. When you say shit like chemo spurs, sticky air. What?
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, Chris, your atmosphere thing, we've heard it before, and chemo brought it to the table as sticky air. I can show you exactly what happens right after you say to a group of fucking Glovers, sticky air, and you don't ever have evidence. This is exactly what it means.
The ether.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, the ether.
See, I don't know enough about that.
Energies.
Matter of fact, we should talk about stuff like that. So I don't get this. So, and again, because I don't get it at all.
Do we really have to go and look at 100-year-old, 250-year-old theories about ether?
No,
we
but
really have to go and dig for that.
I'm still trying to figure out what it thing. Because I always thought when I heard it, it was like ether being there is something there. It's not zero, but I'm starting to think it's something different now. It's not the same thing as. So,
what was the box they put it in when they discovered in the ring laser gyro debacle thing? They discovered 15 degrees per hour. Okay, so what did they put it in to shield it from? What was the box they put it in?
A Faraday cage?
Wasn't it bismuth? I thought it was
bismuth chamber.
I thought it was bismuth.
Something like that, but something. Sure. And it's still registered 15 degrees.
That was to isolate it, yeah.
And even after that, it's still registered it. They still don't buy it, and they pay for the gyro.
Well,
I'm still struggling with that.
Yes.
But there's a lot of money that's been wasted, so to speak. So here's the thing. For every globe test, and I saw Jesse was saying, and I think Larry, you were talking about it earlier, why aren't flat earthers meeting up with them to do these tests? Because as far as I'm concerned, at this point, no one wants to meet up with Soundly and Larry, because if you do, then your whole "he's lying" belief is thrown out the window. You
Can I
can't.
say something about that?
Absolutely, sir.
So, I mean, I'm sure that people say he's lying or faking it. That's fine. I don't personally believe that. I just believe that the conclusion is incorrect.
Okay. Now, can you show forth, your evidence that you have extensively looked through, or have done in a different situation that would show you, or that would be an example of how he did it wrong? Because he just did it wrong is not. That's not good a reason.
I didn't say he did it wrong.
What are your reasons?
Yeah, well,
I said his conclusion is incorrect.
Okay, so what conclusion is correct that you've come to?
I have a problem with your conclusion as well, because you say that you made a conclusion the Earth's flat, then you go looking for evidence instead of finding the evidence and.
How do you know I did that?
No, you can believe it's flat before you look for the evidence, couldn't you?
That's my fundamental belief right now, is that people watch YouTube videos or somehow come to the conclusion the Earth is flat, and then they go looking for the evidence. Then they buy the camera. Then they go out into the beach, and then they go on NASA.
That's okay. Well, that's patently false.
Okay. Okay. It was correct.
Chris, here's the problem I have: is everybody says that.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing that.
I can tell you right now, I was a flat earther.
Personally, they are doing that.
I was a flat earther, Chris. That is on the majority of flat earthers is exactly how it is.
I can explain.
Okay.
Every child knows the Earth is flat and motionless.
What?
And they have to be told.
Wait, what?
Yes, they do. They have to be told.
No.
They have to be told that it's a spinning ball.
No. No. They would have to be told it's a flat, quote unquote, plane, if anything.
Every child is born unable to read.
They don't even know anything.
Flat.
They don't know.
It looks flat.
But Chris, here's the problem. Every child is born unable to read or count. Okay?
Chris?
And then they're taught how to read and count. That's not indoctrination in any way.
I have a question for what you just said.
Just being shown the facts. But the shape of the Earth is as established as numbers and letters. It isn't a matter of indoctrination. Go ahead.
Yeah, you said children have to be taught the ball, and they think it's flat. No, they don't know anything. And then my big question is for you being, we'll say average 6 foot tall, in the area that you can look around and see, how big do you think that area is compared to Earth?
My whole point is it looks flat.
Hang on. I get it. It does look flat for your peripheral vision right in front of you. But how much of the Earth do you think you see at any given time for that area? How much do you see in that area compared to Earth?
I don't know.
Okay, see, right there in itself. You can't say it's flat because you don't know how much you see compared to how much of the Earth there is. You're tiny. You're a speck. We're all little freaking specks. So when you look around, you're not seeing very much. So to assume,
why do you say that? That's an assumption, right?
Oh no, it's not, because we know how big the Earth. We know how big the Earth is.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
How do you not
No, we don't.
Okay, if Google says no, stop. Hang on. It's just me. It's literally just me. If you're driving 100 miles an hour, in an hour, will you be 100 miles away?
Of course.
Oh, yep, there you go. Okay, so if Google Map tells you it takes blah, blah, blah days to get to a certain point, and it takes that long, obviously something's right. They're not lying about how big Earth is. They're not lying about how big the land is. It's very easy to do this. I can debunk the whole United States isn't this big and it's that big in a week. Do you not understand that should have been done already by Flat Earth if that were the case?
Okay, so your initial position was, or your initial question was, how much can you see?
Yep.
I said, I don't know. And then you went on to say how much you can see because you're presupposing the spherical ball.
I didn't say how much you can see. I said how much we know the ball is. No, they've measured it.
Right.
They've measured it already.
So
that's
an
the
assumption.
number.
No, they haven't measured
They have. Really?
Okay, wait,
They have, Chris. They really have measured it.
How did they measure it?
Chris, 1 second. Could I take you to task for something?
GPS.
The shape of the Earth is not a presupposition.
Yes,
Nobody,
absolutely.
at this point in
It's a conclusion.
2019, nobody is presupposing the shape of the Earth at this point.
Of course.
Perhaps
Chris,
in the olden days.
which school is teaching us that's different from what you're saying? Which school is teaching that the Earth is flat?
I don't know what that has to do with what we're talking about.
Everything.
Kids don't know
Everything.
the shape. You pre-assist. Someone say it. I'm not going to tongue-tie myself on that word. You assumed that kids know it's flat before they're taught it's a globe. That's there's nothing to back that. Nothing at all. You can't. No, matter of fact, we can actually no. Kids don't know anything.
Did you take some courses in child psychology, Chris, to come up with that bit of logic?
No, I have 2 kids.
That's what I figured.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you're
you
telling
don't
me
know
that.
what you're talking
So
about.
before you ever said anything about a flat Earth,
I've taught,
did they
Chris.
know?
I've taught science,
Larry.
and I know you have no
Chris,
idea what
hang
you're
on, 'cause I
talking
don't want to
about.
start getting personal, guys. Chris, so the first words out of your kid's mouth, the first thing they knew before you had ever uttered flat Earth, they knew it was flat? Probably not.
I've heard questions. So my son asked me why people don't fall off the supposed ball. And
Wait. Your son
What
said,
age? What age?
He was probably 6.
at 6, he said the supposed ball globe or whatever. He said that, or did he say how come we don't fall off Earth? That sounds like a reasonable question for a kid to ask. I asked that question when I was a kid.
Well, he was already told it was round by that point, I'm sure. That's probably why he had the question. If it's round,
Okay, well,
but they
did
didn't
you tell him it's
about
flat?
gravity.
You tell him it's flat?
No, I had to lie and tell him it was because of what's called gravity.
Okay, well, here's the thing. The things that the schools are teaching, you can go and check yourself. But the problem is you keep saying they're not right. They're not. The conclusions aren't correct without the explanation for why that conclusion is wrong and the correct one. Because you know,
that's not true.
Well, please do, because I'd like to see some evidence. I haven't seen any evidence of your data that shows where Soundly was wrong in that instant. Please, I'm all ears.
Well, my position is clear and constant, and that is any observation that has obstruction is atmospheric and or optic or both.
You've done that personally yourself,
Yeah,
right?
I need to see some data, because otherwise you're just saying that's what it was.
How can optics obstruct light?
He watched a Rob Scott video.
Perspective.
He watched YouTube videos.
How does that happen?
I can tell you
How?
3 things.
What? The only way that you can prevent light reaching your eye from another object, if there's another object between you and that object, right?
That's false.
Anything.
No, it isn't.
Hey, hang on, Chris, because you keep saying things are false, but I'm not hearing you explain these things happening.
He's got the word false well ingrained into his memory, but that's
miraging can obstruct.
No, miraging doesn't obstruct anything.
Sure it does. God,
no, it doesn't.
Okay.
It distorts.
It distorts.
It doesn't obstruct.
Hang on.
Sean, can we take? Okay, we're topic hopping like mad, and every time I say something, they say I'm wrong and I can't prove it. Okay, I just want to take. We can go
ahead and prove it.
Hang on.
Okay, so the claim is miraging doesn't obstruct things. I'll prove that within. Give me 2 minutes. Y'all talk, and I'll post you a link, and I'll prove that. And when I prove that, I want a concession. Okay.
Go for it.
Is it a video?
I'll be right back.
He didn't know what he's talking about.
It's going to be a link to a video.
It's going to be a Jeranism video.
Here's the thing. When you talk about the scientific method, right? The idea is you make observations and you get ideas from those observations, and then you come up with hypotheses, right? And then other people make the same observations, come up with their hypotheses, and you compare notes, and that's how the consensus is drawn. All that's going on here is very, very clear. Flat earthers are simply watching videos. For example, Rob Skiba. He won't mention Rob Skiba by name, but I know that's what he watched. And Rob Skiba will make a video, make a claim, and then flat earthers will watch that, and then they'll go out into the world, into chats like this and on YouTube and wherever else, and repeat that claim as if it's fact. And that is the sum total of their science. That's it. That is not the scientific method, nor will it ever win in the marketplace of ideas. And it isn't winning. But it's just amazing in 2019 people are thinking in this way. That YouTube videos proves things.
All right, I got my evidence. Do you want the video, or do you want a snapshot image of what I'm talking about?
Whatever you want.
All right, we'll start with the snapshot. Actually, let's do the video. That way you can sort of, if you want to see more of it.
Yeah, go ahead, but just make sure you mute it.
I'll just send you the link.
Okay, perfect.
Oh wait, it says I'm presenting. Did you do that, or did I do that?
I did. I'm sorry. I thought you were ready to. I'll take you off for now. Sorry about that.
Oh. So what happens, or at least what's happening in this video is there is an inferior mirage, which is I don't know how this perfectly describe it, a downward mirage, right, where it kind of mimics or mirrors the object above onto the ground or water or whatever the surface is. And when that happens, a lot of times the bottom will be what it looks like the bottom is just gone. Now, like in this example, it's a dog, two people and a dog, and if you're looking at the people, their feet are completely missing, or if you're looking at the dog, the dog's legs are basically missing. And the dog, you can actually see what looks like the blue sky in the background beneath the dog, but between the dog and the ground. But we know that the dog isn't running around, floating on air, but that's what it looks like.
Okay, and you're saying that this is the reason what happens?
You're not sharing, by the way, if you're trying to.
No, I'm actually making it bigger right now, so I can actually share it big. They can see it on the
Yeah, I'm not seeing obstruction.
Right there, perfect.
I'm not seeing
the dog is obstructed from the bottom up, and it looks like it looks like his legs. That's due to the inferior mirage.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't see any obstruction.
So that's called denial, and I just don't know what to do with people who are in denial. I'm sorry.
Chris, with all due respect,
is out of focus, and the dog's legs are thin.
It's out of focus because they're like 8 miles away or something, or 3 or 4 or 5 miles away.
Yeah,
Chris, maybe you know how it feels now because you basically deny every last shred of evidence that is ever pushed in front of you, sir.
This is very clear. This is very clear what's going on.
All astronomy, all physics, all astrophysics. You have to deny.
No, he's strawmanning. He's strawmanning.
And then you have an objection to this.
I'm not seeing them.
A bunch of strawmen.
I'm not seeing them disappear from the bottom up. I'm not seeing it.
So here's the thing.
Because when a ship goes over the horizon, you see you see just the hull, and then the hull.
Look at that, John. Come on, you're honest.
Here's the problem. So I can see where you're saying it. There's obstruction. Problem is, I can see the legs, but at the same time, Brenda, you're kind of. I don't know. Actually, I think you did say the legs are super thin. Because here's the problem, Chris. You can see everything else. The only thing that's doing that is the dog's legs. Why aren't the guy's legs doing it when the dog runs by?
They are. They're mirrored.
Who did this video? Did you do this video, Chris?
I did not do this video.
Okay. How do you know this? How do you know this video is authentic?
Aren't doing it at all.
The guy and the girl's legs in the distance are mirrored.
I can see all of the dog's legs right there.
Do you see?
I can see its legs.
Yeah. Do you see anything under the people's feet that would be the same as that dog? That has thinner legs. That's further away than anything you're looking at right now.
Okay. Hey, hit play and watch them walk.
I can see their feet. I can see their feet.
I've seen their feet hit the ground. Actually, you can't see their feet because it's going below the ground. But they're not seeing anything in between that either. Those dogs' legs are doing it because it's thin and far away. Look, I'm not seeing anything under the guys where they're disappearing.
This isn't comparable to what we're talking about when ships go over the horizon. When ships go over the horizon, you see the whole. No, it's not, because you see the whole thing disappear, and you see half of it. Then you see just
the sails,
and then just show me an image where people disappear, and they're halfway disappeared over the horizon, and it's due
You
only.
can see them. You can see the dog bouncing in and out of the refraction.
Here's the thing.
Refraction.
But we know the dog and the guy in the middle are around the same area to each other. And that guy's legs have not done it once.
Did you notice that the dog's legs are disappearing when the camera's out of focus?
Yes.
But when the camera's in focus, they're perfectly visible. It's the focus of the camera. It's got nothing to do with refraction or mirages here.
Oh God! Go to 47 seconds, will you, please?
The camera. Okay, the bird just flew by and it was in focus. This is horribly out of focus image, footage. If it's even real at all, it's probably just CGI.
Chris, this is a bad example.
Pause it.
It's at 45 right now.
Wait. Okay, go to 47.
How do we know this is authentic footage?
Stop. 47. So, I mean, the dog's head is missing and his front legs are missing.
Okay. So what is the atmosphere doing at this point?
I'm going to go back, but watch it through 47 because it's also
I have a big
stopping in the
problem
middle
with
of a frame because it's not disappearing like you're saying it is.
Yeah, he's bouncing in and out of the refracted
The
zone.
dog is running, and then but when he runs up to the people and his legs look like that because they're thin, shouldn't that look? Yeah, out of focus, but shouldn't the people's legs do the same thing as that dog's legs? If it's what you're saying,
Not necessarily.
why?
Because they're standing up and more of their body is being reflected on the ground or whatever they're standing on.
And the dog's not standing up?
Yeah, but he's a lot smaller.
So, Chris, is this a perfect example of every atmospheric effect on Earth?
And including blur.
The point
Is this a representative video for everything on Earth when you're seeing this atmospheric optical effect?
No, what it is to demonstrate
right, exactly.
The atmosphere can obstruct things from the bottom up.
My question is
why and top to bottom too.
Here's the problem.
It depends on the density of the atmosphere.
Does that mean that every time you see obstruction from the bottom up, it's the atmosphere causing it? Can you say that? You didn't even take this footage.
Sorry, say that again.
Are you implying that all obstruction is due to the atmosphere?
Well, you need to define what do you mean by all obstruction?
Every time we see a ship going over the obvious horizon, that is due to an atmospheric effect.
Yes.
And not the fact that there's a horizon.
Correct.
Because you've studied all the footage.
I've studied a lot of footage.
You've studied a lot of footage on YouTube, and so you know for a fact.
He's watched a lot of YouTube videos.
Yeah,
right.
You didn't even take this video, sir. You didn't even take this video.
I didn't say I did.
You cannot even tell us that is even authentic video that hasn't been fiddled with.
He pins his reality on this video.
Well, even if I took it, let's say I took it, you would say
I would still tell you that it's probably inauthentic and probably CGI or you fiddled with it in some way to get.
Of course you would.
And the other. Let me say something first. The problem with this video is it was in summertime. Summertime you do get a lot of mirages and so forth. That this was taken during dead winter when the atmospheric effects are at a minimum. Then you would see something totally different. But since I could tell by the clothes these people are wearing that it was pretty warm that day, you're going to have all sorts of atmospheric effects going on.
Say again.
Okay, so
again, Chris.
Part of this discussion started because I said atmosphere can block from the bottom up, and Brenda for sure said no, and a couple others said no. I just need a concession. Right? I just need a concession that it can.
Hang on.
No, I'm not conceding anything.
What happened was
I don't believe this is authentic or authentic footage.
At best you had was those dogs' legs. Problem is I could see the dog's legs, and the only time anything
I'll get you a better example.
Anything that was even questionable, the camera was too blurry and shaky. I would ask you to get something else. I would ask, I would ask you to get something else. I didn't say you're just fucking wrong. So don't make it seem like, oh well, now I thought you could really, honestly think it through. I did.
No, that's fine. I'll get you a better example. Hold on.
And Chris, just so you know, aware, I'm not taking the hard-nosed attitude just because I'm being vindictive. But if you were in front of, honestly, if you were in front of some scientists at a symposium, or you took the stage at some science forum, and you showed that footage, how long do you think your argument would be able to stand up?
So I can do this. I can show these examples all day from different sources.
Yes, YouTube videos that you did not take yourself.
Torn to shreds at a conference.
Okay, no one's presenting this at a conference.
Guys, hang on. Relax.
Because it wouldn't last 10
just
seconds,
remember,
that's why.
Please, just remember, there's only one.
Yes. All right.
I am. But seriously, I mean, all I have to do is say, seriously, Chris, I'm not being I apologize. Don't think I'm like hating on you or anything. But look,
I know it's fine. We're still just keep in mind we're still on the same topic. If atmosphere should obstruct and block things from the bottom.
Okay.
I've shown one piece. I'll show another piece that I just pasted, Sean. If you're pulling that up, and we'll look at that together.
With respect, Chris, what I was about to do was just before I was about to say to Sean, please pull up the footage that astronauts took aboard the International Space Station that shows obvious clear curve, and see what your reaction to that would be.
Wait, may I intercede?
How would, let me ask you this, Chris, how would
I believe I was the one who. I believe I was the one who claimed that about the atmosphere. I think you misunderstood me. I didn't claim that atmosphere doesn't block things from the bottom up. I claimed that flat Earth perspective states that if an object, say a person, is on a flat surface and is a mile away, even with no atmosphere, the floor and perspective with angular size and whatnot will block the shoes of that person.
So my contention on that is that is a partially true assessment. So I do believe angular resolution can obscure from the bottom, but I think it plays a less important role than the atmosphere.
Angular resolution doesn't make things disappear. It makes things not resolvable. It doesn't make things disappear.
Actually,
so I actually did do a video on that, and I got disappearance, but we can look at that in a little bit.
Here's the other problem: is out of focus footage will do exactly what you just showed. You can actually make people completely disappear just by taking them out of focus. And I know that because.
So, Sean, are you going to play the next video?
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for everyone to get through so you would have a...
Yeah, well, just to be clear, because I have a technique when I photograph, do headshots for actors and things, and I take the picture and I take it at such a shallow depth of field that everyone behind, even though they're maybe only 20 meters away, they're completely out of it. You can't even tell they're human beings. So that effect you just showed them there was probably a large part of that was due to that effect. But actually, you need absolutely sharp focus footage. Go ahead, Sean.
So just hit play from here. So what you'll see is a tanker, oil tanker or gas tanker, whatever it is, coming across from the right of the screen to the left. And right away you'll notice that the tanker is got another inferior mirage. So basically the top portion is mirrored onto the water layer. So maybe at first you think it's a full-size boat, but then if you look at it, each section sort of mirrors the next section. Now that's interesting in and of itself, but watch what happens as it passes the oil derrick in the middle. This is, well, if you're honest, it will blow your mind, especially if you don't think the atmosphere can miraging and refraction can block stuff.
No one says that the atmosphere can't. The issue is that the atmosphere does not produce a constant observation that we do make, because it does change.
Yeah, that's a good point, Sean, because the atmosphere certainly can make things disappear on the bottom, but it doesn't always do it. And yet we always see things disappear from the bottom up under all conditions.
Yeah, hey, Chris, I said that earlier too. It's not your idea of it's not, because atmosphere does play a part in a lot of shit, but it's not consistent enough to make an observation on and be able to prove like we're able to do it at any time.
I just need a concession from Brenda that atmosphere can block things from the bottom up.
And you said mirage. You didn't say atmosphere. Sorry, I'm not going to let that one slide.
Mirage is an effect of atmosphere and light
under a condition, but you're again under a condition. We have observations that are constant, consistent. We always can see them. We can predict them. You can't predict an atmospheric condition.
You're changing topic.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not. On topic.
Still not.
Yes, you are.
I'm not. Not even
Terry,
close.
how you doing?
Here's the thing. I know I'm not, because your whole thing is atmosphere plays a part in this. And my whole thing is it can't be atmosphere. It's not it's not consistent enough for the consistent observations we're having. I bet you money you can't go out there and that boat or that image will do the exact same thing, just with a little less fraction or whatever you want to call it. But the observation will stay the same. But when it's foggy, it's not going to do something different. It's going to do the same thing, not changing anything.
The days you don't have mirages, you still see ships disappearing off into the horizon.
I just need a concession from Brenda that mirages can occur.
Again, you change it again.
Do mirages occur every day of the year?
Yeah, they pretty much do.
Oh, really?
So,
which?
So you can go there, and you're going to see another one?
Can you state me what journal states that, or which university is teaching that?
Or a prediction made by one of these universities?
I mean, Sean, I don't know you that well. You've been nice to me, but you're gonna if you allow Brenda to not concede.
No. Here's the thing, because
I won't be able to coming back.
Here's the thing. There's a difference between you saying that the mirage and that video you showed, which I'm sorry, I couldn't objectively say, yeah, that's the mirage and it's blocking, because I saw what I saw. I explained it. That video was crap. You can't even say it was all right. Then this video,
which is why I gave you this video.
Is this video an instance of mirage?
Yes, of course.
Okay, and you're
That's why a quarter of the boat was missing from the bottom. A chunk of the boat was missing.
Chunk of the boat? I didn't see. Okay, I'm gonna play it again because I didn't see a chunk of the boat, and maybe I missed it. Where am I?
Yeah.
All right, I see.
Go back just a minute or whatever.
Yeah. I I'm at.
Okay, you see on the left.
Oh shit, my bad.
That huge square chunk or whatever is missing because of all this. And it you would look at this and say, "Oh, there's no refraction. It's clear. It's a clear day, right?" People would say that because you can't see.
Well, here's the thing.
I can't say that.
Yeah, it's
not based on this video.
That what we're looking at right now is not in focus. Is what I would say. Why isn't it in focus? I would have to need to know the time of day, what day of the year, so on. Yeah, distance, time of day, all that does matter. Because doing the small surveying and grade checking I do, we don't want to work in the middle of the day. The middle of the day is terrible. The fucking sun bounces the laser around, like the total station just goes haywire. It's a pain in the ass. You're always off a little bit. There's good time of days and there's not. So that also means we would see, or objects would do 3 different things every time we look, but they still do the same. But yeah, you're right. Phenomenons and mirage or whatever, they happen, but it doesn't change anything. That's just mirage.
Is Brenda even still here? She's been on mute. She's not talking.
God, he's so focused on Brenda.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, your job isn't to make Brenda concede. Your job is to show me. Remember, I said it before. This is my shit, not hers. I literally want to learn everything. I don't know much about it, but I do know the atmosphere. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't. If you're just going to tell me.
Brenda was very adamant before I posted these links that miraging cannot obstruct from the bottom up. I just need her to concede that it can. That's it. It's really simple. I mean, I don't know what we're having an issue with.
Okay, well, like I said, I'm rewatching it. I'm sorry, guys. Is this what's happening? Because I don't know. So I'm not going to defend you.
I don't see it. Again, you need the time of day, the day of the year, what the temperature was, what the atmospheric pressure was, so on and so forth. And he doesn't have those elements listed in that video.
Yeah, because you would know what the difference.
I would know better than you.
It would make a big, Chris, I'm going to tell you right now, it would make the biggest difference, because this is actually something someone did yesterday, the day before yesterday. We have 0 distance, 0 time of day, 0 time of year. Or, I'm sorry, this was the same thing that happened with your challenge. Like, there's information that you would definitely expect of us, but once it's asked of you for this video, which would explain this more, because I'm pretty sure everyone's going, hey, we don't know anything about it, but we know we need this, right?
So what would it change if we know it's an optical phenomenon, right? We know there's an inferior mirage. We can see it when a boat comes in. It's mirrored.
I don't see it.
You'd have to back the video up. It's you can see it better when it's on the right side of the oil there.
But Chris,
all I'm saying
Chris,
is
again, you got to know the elements of the atmosphere, what was going on during that video. I don't even know what the sun angle is. I don't know how high the sun was above the horizon. I don't know what the atmospheric pressure is. I don't know what the temperature is. I don't know what the atmospheric pressure, and you're not mentioning any of that stuff.
Go ahead, Chris.
Sean, this is why in the chat you asked me, would you want to debate Reds? Well, no, I don't, because this is exactly what I would be up against,
okay. Well,
but probably even worse.
Yeah, he's definitely worse, because I'm not going to allow that shit show to happen here. I swear to God, I'll fucking mute each and every one of you guys. But
hello?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't. I was not aware that I forgot that I had myself muted. Sorry. I was trying to respond, and I couldn't figure out why. When I'm talking about obstruction, I don't mean something floating up in the air, right? That's not obstruction in my book.
The bottom is obstructed, yes.
No, but it's not. It's floating up in the air, right? Or it's apparently. That's what you see there. You see air underneath it and above it, right?
It's floating in the air. Why do you see air underneath it?
Well, that's what you're seeing.
Yeah, because the boat's gone, but it's not really gone.
Wait a minute. So, okay, at this point where Sean has it, I don't know what is it you're claiming I'm seeing.
Okay, so the boat's coming in. It's got a pretty obvious inferior mirage happening, but as the boat crosses the derrick, hold on, just pause it right there, Sean, just real quick. Sorry. Okay, look at the boat. Okay, it's so call it a square shape or whatever you want, a rectangle or something. Now watch as it crosses.
What does this boat look like? It doesn't even look like a boat. What does it look like when it's not that far away?
The curve is actually obstructing it. So
yeah, but where's the hull? Where's the hull of the boat?
That's not right. You can't just say that.
Where's the hull of the boat?
It was I was making a joke. First of all,
so where's the hull of the boat?
Now, okay, Sean, hit play. Now let's see what happens to the boat as it goes past the oil derrick.
What is the thing in the distance?
The oil derrick is in the middle, standing still. The boat is moving.
Oh, that's a derrick. That's not even moving, is it?
Now pause it. Pause it. Okay, you see the bottom left corner of the boat?
Yes, I see that.
It's completely gone.
Does it come back?
There you go.
Well, I can see this. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, keep going.
Chris, it'd be a lot better if you had a boat moving away from the camera instead of going parallel to the camera.
So that's a derrick in the front. That's not a boat. And then it's a boat in the back.
Okay, so what we're seeing on this top part, you're saying is still the container, right?
That's still the container.
Okay, okay, that's why I didn't understand it, because I only really picked it up through here, and I'm going, okay, I don't get it. But no, okay,
right.
If I'm sorry, if from what I like I said, I'm not an expert, but if what he's saying, if that is what he's saying, I can see exactly what he's saying right now. That's it. I want to know why it looks like it's missing. It could be something else.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
Honestly,
this is something I would be interested in finding out what's going on.
Now,
I appreciate that.
Okay. Do you understand?
Does anyone know how mirages work that maybe could help add into this, or is this
atmospheric something to do with temperature and surface?
Yeah. So
it's temperature affecting the atmosphere. Yeah, I mean it's not just temperature.
So, Chris, I'm sharing my screen.
Okay, I'm going to you right now.
And this is the video that Larry linked to.
Okay, are you going to change subject? Are you going to change subject?
No,
same subject.
So this is what I mean.
Did you concede on what I mean?
You have to share, Brenda. I'm not seeing your screen.
I am. I thought I was. I am sharing.
Make sure you click the present to everyone. All I see is your icon. Let me try. Yeah, all I see is your.
Well, hold on a second. So Brenda, did you concede that mirages can obscure from the bottom up? Then
you're showing now.
No, they can.
No, because I don't know. Because I want to explain to you what I mean by obscuring from the bottom up. And what I mean by obscuring from the bottom up is this, where you have just the mast, right?
Where? I don't know.
Right here.
Pointed out.
Right here.
Those stick things sticking out of the ground look like goalposts.
Yeah, that's the mast of the ship. That's a ship. It's exactly like this one. Right? That's what I mean.
Obviously, those ships are much, much further away, and there's going to be a lot more atmosphere that you're looking through.
But
they're totally
that's being obscured by the curvature of the Earth.
No,
that's not a mirage.
Really?
No,
that's not a mirage. That's not a mirage.
It's not a mirage. Talk about bad quality, like and
what are you talking about? This is better quality than what you had.
No, it's not.
It is. Definitely.
Those boats in the back are
better quality.
Almost invisible.
No, hang on. Stop. Yeah, no. Here's the thing. This video is insanely clearer than both the ones you showed. That's just the reality of it.
And so when I say that optical. So Chris, listen to me, please. When I say that optical phenomena do not cause obscuring of objects on the horizon, this is what I mean. I mean, they don't cause this to happen. They don't cause things to be halfway below the horizon. There's no miraging going on. There's no atmospheric effects going on. The distant object is obscured by the curvature of the Earth.
Okay, that's a lot of suppositions there. Are those side on or front back?
Stop saying suppositions, please.
I've heard you say that a few times. Can I ask you something? What is that to you? What does that mean to you?
He's presupposing a ball and saying they're going on over the curve of a ball.
Wrong.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. You're
it's not wrong.
It's not.
It is.
Sorry.
It's not just
I don't have to presuppose. I just observe that there's curvature. I can't conclude from this video alone that the Earth is a sphere. Maybe it's definitely curved though. There's a curvature.
No.
Yeah. No, wait. Aren't you? I don't even want to say that. Whatever the fuck you said. Aren't you doing that there isn't a curve? Like, what do you have to show for it? Isn't that what that means?
No, because I can demonstrate that things obscure from the bottom up due to miraging and atmosphere.
Is it miraging and atmosphere only?
You showed it wasn't the same thing at all.
Okay, I can't. I'm not allowed to talk.
No, you are allowed to talk. I just want to make sure No,
I'm getting interrupted. I'm saying.
Well, so everyone knows. For right now, let's just Brenda and Chris go. So that
it's just not the same phenomenon. The other one that you showed was clearly a mirage. It was wiggling, and the whole bottom just disappeared. It wasn't obscured; it disappeared. And I don't know why that's happening. In this one, it's clearly the fact that the water is in the way. Right?
Okay. No. Can you post the link to that video? I'd like to look at it, please.
It's in the chat here.
Under what, Larry?
Yes.
Okay. So Sean, what I mean by presupposition is they're saying, it's disappeared from the bottom up. Now let's just say, for sake of argument, that they're wrong. Right. So that's why I say that. If you were wrong, you're presupposing without further evidence that it's the curvature.
Then aren't you presupposing that it isn't curvature?
No, because I have evidence the atmosphere can do just that.
The atmosphere would only explain the observation. It wouldn't explain curve or not, right? That's what I'm taking from it. You're not. That doesn't say anything about a curve. That just says atmosphere.
And it wouldn't. And also, it wouldn't explain the observations that everybody has made. Everybody that has been up beyond about 50 or more kilometers per hour.
So how about this? So
no, that's not a straw man. Stop saying straw man. It's not a straw man.
If a boat,
you're setting up a false argument to try to knock my head.
This isn't a false argument. If a boat, if a boat heads from me, I'm in California. If a boat heads west in the morning, clear skies. Are we gonna see the same observation as noon if it did the same thing? And at the end of the day, it did the same westward bound at the 3 different times of the day, would we see the same observation?
It depends
on
the conditions.
Exactly.
Sean.
But those 3 times in the day. I'm sorry. What's up, Larry?
Again, I want to go back to that picture I showed a couple 3 weeks ago. And if you guys want me to quit talking about astronomy, I'll quit talking about astronomy.
You're good to go. You're good to go.
So why is in that picture off to the Chris? Look at this picture off that I just posted that I took, not somebody else, and it shows the Big Dipper high in the sky from Kentucky. And it also shows the Big Dipper, same size. It didn't shrink or disappear. Same size, right next to the horizon in Australia. That has nothing to do with the atmosphere. So why is it so high in the sky in Kentucky, but so low in Australia?
It has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Yes, it is. Totally and absolutely what we're talking about.
It has 100% to do with it. Because these are observations, and in between these observations is the atmosphere you're saying affects these images.
We're talking about boats disappearing or not over a curve. I don't know.
We're talking about science, which you have no background in, so that's why you don't understand the photographs.
Yeah, here's the best part. Atmosphere is going to be atmosphere no matter what the observation is. So if we're looking at boats going over, if the boats are going over the curve and we think the boats are going over the curve, you don't think it is, you think it's atmosphere. Now Larry asked you to make this observation, and everything, that atmosphere that you're talking about has to work in all these observations. So you gotta add it in. And because atmospheres change so much, you have to explain again why we're all seeing the same observation.
And why is the Big Dipper the same configuration as the Big Dipper in the States? The Big Dipper is right into the thickest part of the atmosphere, right there at the horizon.
Larry,
so why didn't it go upside down, sideways, or disappear at that photograph?
Larry, so what he's saying, we should actually, if we're in 3 different locations, we should all see the stars differently, because we logically wouldn't have the same atmospheres if we're in 3 completely different areas, right?
Right. I mean, I'm talking about 65 degrees difference from my latitude to this other person's latitude in Australia. And I mean, you would have to go through a lot of atmosphere, but for the Big Dipper to stay the same shape as it is high in the sky, like it was for me in Kentucky, and the same shape there in Australia, it's still the same shape. It didn't shrink, it didn't bend, it didn't disappear when it was going. Because when this guy took the picture in Australia, it was nearly winter time down there. So there's no distortion from the atmosphere from those 2. The Big Dipper is the same size, 25.5 degrees across from the bowl star to the tip of the handle. Same thing in Australia, 25.5 degrees from the tip of the handle star to the bowl star that's digging into the horizon in Australia. No difference. But some of these flat earthers just cannot conceive of such things. If you show them a star, they go gaga and say that it's 5 miles away or something like that. But how can the Big Dipper be the same size from Australia and the same size from Kentucky? It's because it's way far away.
If it's on a dome, it would look completely different. Think about the dome shape above you. If that was little dots in the dome.
True.
You're right, but don't go too far off. Yeah, that's going out off the rails. So let's just keep it a little close for right now.
That's why I get pissed when I hear about using ships off in the horizon, stuff like that. There's other ways to look at the same phenomenon of what is going on with the atmosphere in relationship to objects that are millions, billions of miles from us. And you don't see any differentiation from one latitude to the other latitude. But they got to use the ships. Ships is understandable. It's stupid.
I'm going to tell you right off the bat, what was just shown, and I'm sorry, that is proof that it cannot be atmosphere that does what you're saying. But that doesn't prove that the Earth is a globe all out. I'm not saying go home and leave us alone. But you cannot use atmosphere, dude. it just doesn't work like you think it works. So what the mirages do, okay, I'll give you that, but they're not doing what we're observing. You're nitpicking observations of these phenomenons, but you're not giving a honest representation of what we actually see on a regular basis.
He would have to explain why the Big Dipper was high in the sky at one latitude and so low against the horizon at another latitude. He can't do it because he doesn't. Because
perspective.
Yeah, I know.
Easy.
No. Is it perspective? Is it perspective or atmosphere? Because it's remember the boat was perspective for a while.
This is why we can't talk about apple. We're talking about apples and oranges.
No, we're not.
Different phenomena.
No, we're not.
They're different
because you don't have the science background to make that statement.
Okay, that's appeal to authority. That's appeal to authority, and I don't deal with that.
Hang on, stop, guys. Is perspective appeal to authority, or were you saying these two other things were something? What something else was?
Please.
He's saying I don't have a science background, and he's saying you have to have a science background
to know this, to understand authority.
No,
with respect.
You do have to have.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
That isn't an appeal to authority. That's an appeal to facts. That is an appeal to people who have facts. That's not an appeal to authority, because everyone makes appeals to authority by that. You just made an appeal to authority by showing somebody else's video. That's an appeal to authority.
That was my actual photograph.
I showed
exactly.
Well, show me some actual stuff
you showed
did,
somebody
Chris.
else's video. That's an appeal to authority.
Exactly.
You want to do that? We can do that.
And the reason I'm agreeing with them is if you're going to use something, you have to be able to defend it. You know what I mean? You can't say
I've been defending all night. I haven't gotten a single thing wrong.
You have, and I'm not saying you got
big time.
I think you don't have a clear. I think you're brainstorming and not realizing you're going too far with that brainstorm. Because I've done the same thing. When I was a flat earther, I had to figure out what the replacement for gravity would be. So I went months trying to figure out how atmospheric pressure could be what it is.
But wait, here's what I don't get. The flat earthers basically using the zetetic method, where anything that I haven't personally seen cannot be true, and then they show other people's videos.
That's a straw man. That is a straw man.
No, that's true.
Every flat earther is the same.
You obviously don't know what the term straw man means. I'm not misrepresenting your argument.
Yeah,
that's a straw man.
What he's saying.
I'm not misrepresenting your argument.
You just want me and every flat earther together, sir.
Word for
what
word.
you are doing is what most flat earthers do.
Yeah,
and that is
word for word.
They'll say,
wrong.
"I'm using the zetetic method," and then using somebody else's footage.
Word for word, he's wrong. The word he's saying is wrong, but the tactic is 100% correct. I was there, Chris. I did this months ago. I know exactly how it works. You have not presented enough evidence to come to a conclusion, even.
Presented
3 years
other
into
people's
this.
evidence.
We're 3 years into this, and we're still talking to flat earthers who are buying P900s and walking to the beach.
I'm gonna tell you right now, we're sicker than they are. Period.
When are we going to get an argument that is more sophisticated than that?
That's why we're crazy and they're not.
Hey, Sean.
We keep trying.
Hey, Sean.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm gonna have to go. I'd like to leave one last article of information. And at the beginning of your hangout, I talked about stuff that I'd like to see as evidence. And that was long distance, tests and observations, say 18, 20, 25 miles away of objects you absolutely shouldn't see, even if you can count, call it looming or refraction, right? So what's going on right now is they're doing a couple of tests. They're doing an 18-mile test, and I think a 25 or 27-mile observation as well. And they're doing that right now, and I'm really interested in the results. Okay. What they're doing, the method is, instead of using like lasers and stuff, they're using mirrors. So on one end of the beach, they have a mirror, I think they're using 2 mirrors to sort of reproduce, right? Make sure it's not an anomaly or whatever. And however many miles away, I read 18 miles, one observation, another 20.
What is he talking about?
I think it's 25 or 27.
I think it's the C one, right, Chris?
You think that light from a mirror is differently than light from going to behave differently than light from a laser or any other source. It's light. It's light. It's going to be refracted.
No. It can be refracted, but the distance
refracted.
Okay, and if you find out that there is obstruction, are you going to say the Earth is not flat? We already have ring laser gyro testimony from a flat Earth that says it's not.
You're changing the topic.
Hey, Chris,
no, I'm not.
Chris, hang on. How about this, Chris? How about let me know, because I see you all the time now. Let me know when you're actually got a chance to actually look at it and do what you do. I'll give you an opportunity to come on with nobody on here and to present what you're saying. Because I get it. I 100% get it. That's why at the beginning I said I didn't want to make it an attack thing. And again, I don't think you've gone out of line with anything. I don't think you've, acted, ridiculous with any of your argument. So don't think that's anything at all. I actually am very happy with how you've acted compared to some of the other people I've had here who just are nutters.
Sure. Cool. Hey, and I do have to go, but it was fun.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
I don't understand this experiment.
Thanks. Hey, Chris, no disrespect. It's great chatting with you. Thank you.
No problem. No worries.
Thank you. Take care.
We're all humans.
Yes. I appreciate it, Chris. Thanks. I'm playing hard nosed right now, but I appreciate you. Thank you.
Sure. See you.
Take care.
Now, the experiment I believe is going on is they're doing the Salton Sea, but I don't know about the details of it, but I guess he said they're using mirrors instead of laser.
Yeah, that's
But aren't they,
what's his name?
Are they using lasers?
What's his real name?
Devin.
His name is Devin. I prefer to call him Devin. His name.
I didn't know that was even his name.
Yeah, but so go ahead.
I was going to say Devin. Yeah, Devin is doing that right now. I think.
Now, are they using lasers to reflect off them or light?
They're just using mirrors, just like from the house,
But like, what is to get a shine or something?
I'm not sure.
because the reason you use the laser, isn't it because a flashlight's light it spreads out too quick, too fast, and not accurate?
Well, that's the same thing will happen with
lasers light waves.
Say again, Larry?
Has coherent light waves. When light radiates from a light bulb, it's incoherent. If light radiates from a laser, it's coherent.
Okay. One's going somewhere. The other one's just spreading out,
just blasting everywhere. Okay.
You're right.
Okay.
Right.
Perfect. Okay. Just want to get a clarification of the term. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay. I'm just I'm taking the hard nose thing. I don't mean to sound like I'm being rude. I apologize if I sound out being rude to Chris. I really didn't mean to. But we are 3 years into this, and people are going to the beach with P900s and mirrors, and there doesn't seem to be any progress as far as the sophistication in their arguments or their techniques or their experiments. There's no progress whatsoever. We're still talking about lasers and mirrors and beaches and etc. It's just I'm just wondering when it's going to get beyond this.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not.
That's why no university is teaching it.
Just giving you guys a heads up. I'm going to be ending in about 5-10 minutes. I mean, we've had
tired?
Actually, dinner time.
No,
but like seriously, I'm so happy with this panel right now. So I don't,
good.
I want to end it on a good note too. And then you guys can always stay here. I put the link in the chat just now. But we have time for you guys to, if you want to promote anything. Hang on before you guys talk. Terry, my man.
Yeah, no, I'm back again.
There you are. How you doing, sir?
Terry.
He's always there. I never see you until the last second. I'm like, corner of the eye, because you're always right next to where my avatar is. I don't know where you are on everyone else's screen, but it's like I'm staring at 3 screens, so I see you in the corner. It's weird.
I love that avatar.
I was about to jump in on all that perspective crap to do with the lensing and the atmospheric miraging and that. But I had to jump out for a minute, and then when I came back,
he was gone.
That's what I noticed. I was like, where did he go? Because I just given you control. I'm like, fuck. I got to message you like an hour before I go live.
It's the time zone crap. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk to you later on because that's when you're wide awake.
Yeah, I usually on the flat Earth debates. I usually hang out there sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, if you did want to talk about it, I'll keep going for you, Terry. Like I said, this is your show too.
The bit about where they misinterpret the wordings when they describe things, they say from the bottom up terminology, and I'm thinking now that's a verb or something, because that's, to me, is a video description of something that's playing. If the ship was actually in motion going over the curve, yes, you'd see the bottom disappearing first, but not in a still frame. In a still frame, you can't use that terminology that it's disappearing from the bottom up, because it's in a still frame. You just don't see the bottom half of the boat. It's a single description for something that's more of a motion description.
It's more the futility of looking through the thickest part of the atmosphere you could possibly look at.
Well, here's the pleasant part about this, though. Yes, I did. Because trust me, I heard Chris talking what I call scripts. You know, certain prominent flat earthers will say something, then you start hearing the trickle down from everyone else that hears it.
Yes,
he does do it a lot.
Yeah,
but I will say, compared to a lot of flat earthers that we're talking to lately, at least he has a thought. At least, you know what I mean?
Chris is a smart guy.
It's not or nuh-uh.
No, I agree. Chris is a smart guy.
And you have to appreciate that.
I do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is definitely appreciated. He's a smart guy. He's not, you know.
Because I could see, like, if there wasn't so many of us here, it would have been a conversation where it would have gone around and, you know, would have evolved to other things.
But this is the point. That's the point. He's a smart guy. So why is he still making these?
That's a scary.
This level of argument. Why are we still at this level when he's obviously a smart guy? It's like having a son. It's like having a son, you know, and you know he's very, very bright and is getting Fs and everything, you know, and continues or starts with A's and then just it's just like, why? Come on, you're better than this. Come on.
Yeah.
It's religion. Anyone got I bet you anything. It's religion.
Has anyone
no?
It's yes and no, because like actually I heard Red saying it earlier before. Religion doesn't play a part because you said there was more globe people that believed in a god than flat.
If you look at the major players, I could list them.
I've got a list.
Yeah, I could list them. Mark Sargent's not religious. Dell is not religious. You know, Nathan Oakley's not religious. We just go on and on.
How do you know? The thing is, I can only tell you only one of those guys that is not a flat earther for sure. That's Nathan Oakley.
You think so?
I know. I know. His argument is this, like, it's ridiculous. He's literally needs the show, and if he goes against flat Earth, especially right now, he knows he will be under. He'll have to delete his channel and go away. So yeah, he's never going to change his narrative because he can't.
Well, they're all stuck in this to such a degree. It's a matter of saving face at this point. So I think a lot of them have come to the end. I mean, haven't we all here in this room come to the end of really just saying, okay, this is all you got, and this is still all you got?
I can tell you right now, Larry, you've been here forever that I know of, and Brenda, P. Mars, shit. There is a turn happening right now, and it's not good for flat Earth.
Yeah, it's not.
But there's always new people coming in.
No. Right. There's not.
No, there's new people coming in.
No.
But there's new people coming in, but they're just repeating what everyone else is saying.
The thing is who's the new people? Because the problem all the flat Earth has is just like Sasha here. I've met at least a dozen of these kids that are 13, 14 who are actually smart enough to break down, you're wrong, flat Earth. And that's a generation.
I've met several young kids who have made servers because they want to troll as flat earthers.
Yeah, well, and that's the other problem.
And more than one Discord server and different groups of kids.
Yeah,
you know,
I've come across them too. I know
junior high or high school age kids. You know.
When their intellect's confusing with their maturity.
Well, they just want to have fun trolling. Pretending to be flat earthers.
I remember last summertime, just the wave of kids that hit Discord. It was like, what the hell is going on? It's like,
I'm sure. Well, there's going to be more, right? When the hangouts go away for good. Aren't there going to be? Wouldn't you think?
I don't think there's so many of them here. I don't think they're at YouTube. They're all at Discord. They're all coming from the gaming side.
That's true. Huh? But you can still stream to YouTube using OBS, right?
Yes.
Discord.
Oh yeah. 100%, yeah. That's what a lot of people are trying to do. I'm just not comfortable with it yet because not everyone that I was associated with all have Discord. So I don't think I'd build a panel fast enough.
You got Zoom, and you got Meet, so you got the alternatives.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Is like. For a while, it was like, okay, well, I want to try the Discord thing, but again, like I said, I didn't build my Discord. I had those kids we're talking about. They built it for me. So like, I go in there and I feel like I have no thumbs, so it sucks and it makes me nervous when I live stream. But it's gonna have to be something else. I can tell the hangout thing. First of all, I don't give. Man, there's still people not using OBS and it pisses me off to hell. It's like. Stop complaining about getting bombed. Stop complaining about getting sniped if you're not prepared for it. But my food and my nose smelling. Anybody else wanted to announce anything? I'll be on tomorrow if anyone wanted to know. Paul, I'm not sure if you're still there. All right, man.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just listening. I'm packing up my house.
I'm that thing. The DM you sent me. I'm gonna do that experiment. That's cool. It's definitely in my wheelhouse of I definitely have the materials. I definitely can do it. So I think that's gonna be cool, and I want to start doing more stuff like that because a lot of people think I just flopped. I need to be able to explain why I know it's a globe now. So.
Sean, what time are you going to be on tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'm gonna start going on a little bit earlier. I'm gonna say about 2:00 my time.
Okay.
So I'm in Pacific Coast, so California, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
For everyone
else. There's just a few in here, so I'll just mention. I probably won't be on Flat Earth for much. Bob's working on other projects. So the science guy, he's doing other things. I'm going to be doing other things as well, so I may not be back for. It depends.
Okay, no worries, no worries.
So I may not be back for a while.
Okay, no worries. Alaska in the chat. I'm going to end it right now, but. I'm going to put the link in the chat right now. I leave these open, not recorded once I end them. So I don't know if anyone's staying, but if they're going to stay and keep chatting it up, you're more than welcome to come into the link and check it out and see if anyone's there. But tomorrow I'll be live in Alaska. Okay, yeah, I just want to let them know so that way. I appreciate anyone has the option to come in here if they need to, or meet up on other terms, whatever.
Okay,
guys, I appreciate. Larry, did you have anything?
Oh no, I just say appreciate everything that you've done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the forum.
P-Mars, you've been very quiet. It's kind of making me nervous. You all right, buddy? You got anything you want to announce? Are you live streaming again? More than welcome to promote, Doc. I think maybe he's away. All right.
Is that where's P-Mars?
The one on the end. Block me, fag.
Delightful.
Okay. All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys later in here in the chat. I'm gonna go.
Right.
Say bye to everyone else.
Okay, Sean.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, Sean.
All right, guys. Like I said, I'm gonna start going a little bit earlier and getting into this for a little bit more. It's the one thing like I said, I have a lot of respect for Chris because at least he is thinking. It scares me when you get these nuh-uhs. And just all they want to do is deny. They're not trying, at least. So, Chris, you do have my respect in that regard, my friend. But again, guys, I want answers now. Not no more. We're gonna build. We're gonna discuss. Now, I'm gonna keep this. The panel's pretty even. Like as in, I'm not gonna allow the whole panel to attack. And I'm trying to figure out. There's a program that I was told about where I can actually split audios. So I can actually split them up inside the Hangout, but who knows? We'll see what happens with that. It wasn't bad today, so I'm not having any problem with it. Guys, I'm tired. I'm hungry. Now it is. Even. Bye. Peace. Love you guys. Thank you.
excited, yeah, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises, you ain't stopping this. Cross my shit, you'll be knocked unconscious, bitch. That's the consequence, I got this, I will not quit. Man, I'm on it, honest, I'm gonna launch quick, then I'm gone. It's just a matter of time before I'm over the climb and moving under my prime. Just quit my 9 to 5, I'm rocking, and they watching, cause it's shocking. Dropping all these top 10 songs, no stopping. It's time to live my life, it's time to live, not die. Wish I could slow down time and just enjoy the climb.